Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Welcome to the new makeup releases for May 2024. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This video is going to be an overview of some of the new makeup releases that have been announced in the past couple of weeks that stood out to me that I wanted to mention for some reason. And I'm going to share my thoughts with you. Do I want to get these? Are these going on the wish list? You know the drill. Before we get into the video, it may be good to know who I am and what I like doing on this channel. My name is Maaike. I live in the Netherlands. I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, and this greatly influences how I feel about makeup. I have been reviewing makeup for more than a decade. I love trying out eyeshadow palettes as accessories and getting the use out of my makeup. So if that's something you're interested in, then I hope you'd like to consider subscribing. So I have a lot to chat about, 45 things to be exact, which is a lot. A lot of releases have happened, and there are some really good things here. I get some comments sometimes on these videos saying, why are you doing these? Because you don't like anything. It's just that there are months where there are very few releases that do it for me, that I tend to like, and then there's moments like these releases that we get this time round, and I like almost everything. So it really goes in and out, and some people will then say just talk about the things you love, but that's the thing, it's not just a wish list, it's also an overview of what's out there, and some things are just plain stupid, and then this is another way we get to keep the makeup industry on their toes, you could say, because if we say loud and clear this is not something that we were looking for, then maybe they'll start listening at some point. Also, if you can see my nails, I haven't been able to do my nails before sitting down to film this video, so I hope to be able to do that tonight, so that the next round of videos I'll film will have nice clean nails again, but I didn't manage to do it. So yes, I know it looks rickety. Ignore, please. We are doing, the first one here is a new formula for the NARS blushes. Are these their powder blushes? I think they are. These are NARS powder blushes. They, of course, have done this line for forever. The infamous Orgasm shade, but also Exhibit A, I remember everybody loving. And I had a bunch of these. I actually had a mini of Exhibit A. I'm not even sure how I got that. And I've tried some of the blushes from NARS, and they do some really lovely things. Of course, I don't know what this formula is like. NARS has been reformulating quite a bit of their products, it seems. But yeah, they do some really good things. I'm not really in the market for a NARS blush at the minute. It's just NARS and me, we haven't been the best of friends, you could say. I like some of their products, but there's also some products where I'm like, I'm not entirely sure, NARS. So that's why I will be skipping out on this, but I think for the brand, it's one of their staple products. And if this is as good or maybe even better than the blushes we already had, then this is, of course, an ace in the hole for them. More blush, this time from Armani. This is their Luminous Silk Cheek Tints. And this looks really pretty. Again, am I in the market for more liquid blush? No, because I got some more liquid blush in recent months, and I really don't need another one from a brand, but I think Armani does some really beautiful makeup. What I've tried from the brand, I've really enjoyed, and these look lovely. It's, of course, a more expensive brand, so do you need to spend this much money on a liquid blush? I don't think you have to. However, with what they have on offer here, I think it's really pretty. Shade range wise, I do feel it's a little bit limited. It's like very predictable shades, and most of them are warm tones. So that has to be your cup of tea. In terms of cool tones, there really is only one cool tone, pink, which is quite standard for most brands. So nothing revolutionary, but just a good release. Did Armani already have a blush formula? Not that I remember, so for the brand, again, a really good release, but not something I need personally in my collection. Again, not something I need in my collection at the minute, but Sephora has come out with some new matte bronzers. I was already able to see these in store when I was at Sephora in Valencia, and these look okay. I mean, Sephora brand has some really lovely products. The reason why I haven't tried more by the brand is because I did already try a lot of Sephora brand way back in the day, and it's just not a brand that's top of mind for me. Plus, a lot of the good shades are usually out of stock, and yeah, it's always a bit of a pain to find. But they do some lovely things, and I think that if you have regular access to Sephora, it is one of the more affordable lines in that store to begin with. And they seem to do 5 shades here, and they definitely have some really nice light ones too. So yeah, I think that they did a good job here. So Sephora, thank you very much, but not for me. Maybe somebody else can like it. So for this one, I only have a video, but it's Patrick Ta, and they have come out with some new blush shades in their blush duos. I believe there is 2 of them. I think the one I'm showing you is for their baby pink, because the Patrick Ta line, I don't know if you were aware, but they didn't have a lot of like really good shades for lighter skin tones, and they now do some things for lighter skin. This is Just Enough, which is a cool tone pink. How revolutionary. Do I need this in my life? No, but I do think that the brand is finally realizing that not everybody looks good in a warm tone, because the Patrick Ta, that's a very warm tone brand, so not necessarily something I need in my life personally. I have tried one of these in the past, and it is really good formula. It's just the powder with the cream I don't tend to reach for, and I find them really heavy. It's really for people who like their full glam, and that's not me. So for me, the brand is just a bit over, like I'm like a bit too much, a bit OTT. But I know a lot of people do like that look. So if that's you, if you love your blush and you really enjoy piling it on, then this is a really nice one for sure, but not something I need. Next is the new e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. So they, of course, have their Power Grip Primer, and now they're coming out with a setting spray. I think this is clever. I mean, they're doing something, of course, that is not only a dupe, but also very popular within their own line. So I think this is a good release for e.l.f. Personally, I had trouble with the Power Grip Primer because it kind of gave me it didn't really break me out. It just, it gave me itchiness, and it was just not, like, my skin didn't love it, so I'm a bit skeptical about what this will do for me. So I will be skipping this, but I know that e.l.f. is going to make another bestseller having this spray in their line. From Natasha Denona, we have the High Glam, no, it's not the High Glam, it's the High Gen Skincare Infused Glow Beautifier. And this is a, this is for the sort of like highlighter kind of thing. I thought this was already the powder foundation that's coming up soon as well. But they're also coming out with this highlighter. I don't need this in my life per se. I mean, I can see what they're trying to do here. Like, you have the High Glam Concealer, and now we're getting all this like high something something from Natasha Denona in the complexion range. Does it look pretty? Yes. But I'm really not in the market for any new highlighters at the minute. I have what I like. I don't really need this. Like, highlighter is not really currently the thing I'm really into. Like, blush, I could buy until the end of days and I would be very happy. Blush, eyeshadow palettes, and lipsticks. Those are my vices, but highlighter just isn't quite it. MAC is re-releasing some anniversary collection things because of their 40th anniversary, and they're bringing back some of the products from some beloved limited editions. So they're bringing back some Cinderella bits. I'm not sure what the middle one is. And then, Aladdin and Maleficent. So it's their Disney collabs that they've done in the past. The Maleficent ones, I remember, that was one of the very first MAC collections. I have an active memory of how popular it was. So yeah, I'm glad that they're bringing it back. They've even kept the same packaging, it seems. So if you missed out on it, then maybe you want to grab these. But I do remember the Maleficent one was part of the Villains collection, and we don't get the other villains. I remember there was a really pretty blush from the Evil Queen. That would be something I could still pick up, but these aren't things I need in my collection per se. I had a chance to pick them up at the time and didn't, so that tells you enough. LYS has a new bronzer and contour stick out. So LYS, it's a bit strange because they came to Cult Beauty and it was pretty okay to get them for a while, but now they don't really seem to be restocking anything on there. So this is a bit of a difficult one, I think. But yeah, this is just one of those triangular shaped bronzer sticks. Hourglass one, I believe, as well. At least their foundation stick came in this shape. And everything from LYS is triangular shaped. So yeah, for the brand, great release. Not something I need. Then we have a new brand by Serena Williams. This is Win Beauty. And this is, again, not something that I need in my life. I think if you're into tennis and you love Serena Williams, you'll probably love this line and you're probably going to get something there. Not sure where it's available. Oh, it's an Ulta brand, so not very easy for me to get as well. And they do sell it from their official website, of course, but not something I need in my life, but good for her. Another celebrity makeup brand. I didn't think we needed another one, but here it is. I was like, what release is this? But it's the Unearthly Spring Magic collection, which comes with a blush palette, I think some highlighters, glosses, and a eyeshadow palette. So a very full range here, and Unearthly is one of those brands that I tried some of their older stuff, but I haven't tried a lot of their newer stuff. So I'm definitely sort of keeping an eye out to see if there's anything they might do that might spark my interest. This is their spring release. The top row with the blues and the teals, you know I like. But those other two rows just really don't draw me in. If you love Unearthly as a brand, I think this can go far. You'll probably love it. The eyeshadow palette is $78 though, which Unearthly has definitely upped their prices, but they are doing larger palettes now like this, and I know they have changed their formula as well. Dolce & Gabbana has been releasing some new products as well. This is a skin tint and some lip products as well. So the skin tint seems to come in a heap of shades, which is good. And the lip products seem to be like a liquid lipstick. There's some eyeliners here, some sort of lip oil. Again, Dolce & Gabbana, luxury makeup brand, not one where I really feel I need to go for it. If you love your luxury makeup, go for it. Again, also within the luxury realm, we've been seeing some newer releases. So Paco Rabanne and Dolce & Gabbana, Prada. Like there are these more luxury brands now that also are starting to do more and more makeup, which, like celebrity brands, I didn't know we needed it. Maybe there's a market for it. But yeah, I think that this is a really, really nice release for the brand. I'm not sure if they had a skin tint yet, but there's that. Essence has come out with a new limited edition, and this is their Apricots Crush on Apricots collection, or Apricot. Apricot, I never know how to say that. It comes with a blush, a highlighter, some lip products, nail stickers, scrunchies, a freckle pen, and a sponge. This was still at my local store when I was there the other day, and they still had some of these, and I almost bought it. I was like, I don't have time to review this, so I'm going to be skipping it. It looks really pretty, very cutesy, very spring. It's also very orange. Do with that what you wish, but I didn't need this per se, and that's why I'm skipping this one. But as far as an Essence limited edition collection goes, it's a pretty consistent one, and I think one that you could enjoy. Like, the products looked really good in real life. Then this is just a fun one. Rare Beauty came out with some dog toys. So they have their mascara and also one of their lip products and their plushies for your dog, which I think is cute. Again, did we need it? No, but it's cute. Then some of the things I'm super excited for, and I do hope to be able to put this on a wish list and pick it up at some point. Not sure when this is coming to Europe. I think the only place that still sells Melt is Beauty Bay, which me and Beauty Bay, we have a love-hate relationship with each other. So I hope I can get this. I'm not entirely sure. Haven't looked into it yet, but they have released the Smoke Sessions number 2, and it's a purple palette. Yes, it has a warm tone in, which feels very random, but there also seem to be some really pretty, like, shimmering purples, and if they've kept the same sort of setup, as with the other Smoke Sessions palette, where they have quite a few shimmers in and this really nice gradient, I think it can really work. and Melt can do some really lovely things. Yeah, I think that this is a really, really stunning release from the brand. Finally something that Melt has done that made me gasp and that made me go like, ooh, I want you straight away. It is already out. I'm not picking it up because as I just mentioned at the start of the video, I was traveling the past couple of days. So I went to London, I had a wish list, so I wanted to get that out of the way first. And this is going to go on the wish list for the future. So I think what I want to try and do is see if there are multiple things I want to get from Beauty Bay. A lot of you were asking me in one of my videos that I did in April to indeed try out the new Smoky Eye palette that Beauty Bay has come out with. And if I'm then placing an order anyway, I might as well throw in the Melt if it's still in stock. Of course, that's the issue with this palette. How long is it going to stay in stock? But I don't think it's limited edition, so this should come back. Therefore, I hope it's going to be available soon. I have no information on when this is coming to Europe. I only had information on when it's coming to their website, and it's been on their website since April 16th. e.l.f. has released bronzing drops because every brand now has bronzing drops, apparently. This is like the new it thing, it seems, in makeup land. You can see I'm pasty pale. I've done videos about being pasty pale and really struggling to find good bronzers. This comes in 3 shades and all 3 shades are too dark for me. So these are not going to happen for me. I actually have bronzing drops from another brand, from Kruidvat, which is Dutch, which nobody ever talks about because nobody can buy it apart from me. And they do have like a liquid bronzer that is really pretty in the summertime. So I have this type of product already. Mine isn't as glowy as this is, but I think it looks really pretty. And for the brand, again, they're duping what I think Glow Recipe has them. Drunk Elephant, of course, is known for doing them. And now e.l.f. has them, which, you know, good for them. Another very popular product that they've added to their range, I'm sure. Not something I need. We got the NYX Butter Bronzers. I think Butter Melt Bronzers, I think they were called last month. And now we're getting blushes. I tried looking for these when I was in the UK. I've seen several NYX stands, but again, this has not made its way to Europe yet. I have no information on when they will be coming. But when these release in my country, because I can buy NYX from Douglas as well, like if I can get my hands on NYX and on these bronzers and blushes, I think I want to try them because NYX can do some really good bronzer and blush formulas. And these just really intrigue me, which again, because I have no clue when I will be able to try them, I'm holding off on them from now, but I'm pretty sure if I walk into a store and I saw them lying there, then I would definitely snatch them up. I hope maybe this could be one of those things I pick up for Black Friday so I can get a discount. You know what I mean? Jones Road has some new lipsticks. Again, a brand I saw while I was in London. Decided not to pick anything up this year. I picked up 2 products last year, the foundation and one of the blushes. And those still are the 2 standout products from the brand for me personally. So I was like, you know what? With Jones Road, I'm good. If you love this like barely there kind of vibe, especially if you have slightly more mature skin, I think Jones Road very much caters to an older demographic that I'm almost falling into myself as well because I will turn 40 later this year. So this is very much like tapping into a different part of the beauty market, I feel, than like, you know, your indie brands and like a lot of other things we always chat about. So I think this is really pretty. I think it's a good addition to the line for this brand. Not something that I'm going to be picking up. Now, and this one, I'm so torn about this one. It's by Bella Beauté Bar. And this is the Secret Garden palette. Is this a collab? I don't remember anymore. But I just think this is so pretty. It's spring in a palette, but grungy as well. And it's like a more elevated version of a jewel tone palette. It's got neutrals, it's got pinks, it's got greens. There seem to be some teals in here as well. Yeah, this might come to Monolith, and this might be something I can put on the wish list. Not sure I need to, because it is quite big, and we all know how I feel about big palettes. And I have some green and purple, green and pink eyeshadow palettes already in my makeup collection. So do I need this in my life? No. Would I like to buy this particular palette from this brand if my budget allows me to? The answer is most certainly yes, because I think this looks stunning. And I'm really, like you can see today, I'm wearing pinks and greens actually on my eyes. I'm very much in my colorful era at the minute, so this is definitely speaking to me. And I think that from all of the spring releases we're getting, I think this is a really good one. Then the most confusing release that I have seen in the past couple of weeks is this fragrance collection from Charlotte Tilbury. If there is a product that looks nothing like anything else she has in the line, it's this fragrance. And I'm like, what are we doing here? There are 6 of them. Love Frequency, More Sex, Joyphoria, Magic Energy, Calm Bliss, and Cosmic Power. Like, if you'd have told me Charlotte Tilbury is going to be releasing fragrances, I would not have imagined them to look like this. These look, you know what these remind me of? The Britney Spears fragrances. Of course, they were like more rounded, but these remind me of Britney Spears. Oh, I remember those being popular in like the 2000s. I don't remember what they were called, but yeah, I think that this is as I said, it's confusing. I don't know what to think. Maybe they smell nice. I can't smell it through my phone. They could still smell nice, but the bottles look incredibly cheap. Blend Bunny has a collab out. This is the Alice Volume 1 I Am Face palette. Solar Flare, Celestial Cheek Glaze, and Starburst Lash Clusters. And this is a collab with Alice, I believe. I'm not very familiar with the creator, but yeah, some stunning looks that you can do with this, but it is very Blend Bunny. So what you're getting is a gradient of a rainbow, essentially. Which, you know, it's pretty. I think that this is going to do very well for the brand. It's very on brand for the brand. And if you love your mattes, you're going to absolutely adore this one. I don't need this in my life. It's far too big. And even though, like, if it's like a one-stop rainbow palette you're looking for and you don't have one yet, this may be good, but I'm good when it comes to rainbow palettes. Pat McGrath has some new shades in Divine Blush range. These are cream blushes, and there now seems to be some like brighter options. Again, if I look at all the swatches side by side for Pat McGrath, everything looks so peach. It's like 10 different shades of peach and like a bright pink. That's literally what it looks like. So as pretty as these are, as much as I'd like to try some more Pat McGrath products, I'm really not feeling the shades that this range has to offer, even though I'm sure that the formula is going to be lovely. ColourPop and Beauty and the Beast are collabing on a new collection. This has been out for a few weeks. There's a palette, some lip products, some blushes. I mean, the theming is really cute. The color story definitely goes with the theme. I like all of that, but we really didn't need this. ColourPop really needs to stop. And I've actually heard quite a few people saying negative things about this. Not because of like, oh, here we go again, but more because the products aren't performing well. That's sort of what I've picked up on. So I'm not sure how they are doing, but this one wasn't for me. Benefit has some new lip tints. I was thinking of the Benetint product in my brain. And these look nice. Did I need them from Benefit? No, because if I look at some of the swatches, it looks like any K-Beauty lip stain, and I have plenty of those, so I don't need this in my life. It seems to be another one of those like Asian beauty trends that's making its way over to the West, and then all the Western brands start to do it. I really feel like Benefit is perhaps a little bit late to the party with this one. By Terry has a new foundation. By Terry is another brand that's quite luxury price point. They do some nice things, but everything they do tends to smell of roses. There seems to be a pretty decent shade range, but when we get to super deep things, it's literally like 15 shades of beige. and then 3 very dark things, which, why do brands do this? Like, they seem to go pretty pale, which is also something they don't always do. But especially in the deeper section, it's not good. It's not good. So by Terry, do better. Blush drops are available from Makeup Revolution. Oh yeah, the glow drops, bronzing drops, and blush drops. So it's sort of like the thing that we saw from e.l.f., but then Makeup Revolution does it for all categories on your cheeks. So I'm thinking that these will just be like liquid blushes, bronzers, and highlighters, and that you can use them together. That's the way they seem to be marketed. I like this for sure. I think it's a good release for the brand. Do I need it in my life? I just don't. Makeup Revolution and me, like, I tried them again last year after not having tried many Makeup Revolution products for a while, and so much of it was just so disappointing. Again, Makeup Revolution is a brand that works really well for you if you love your full glam, which isn't me. Bioma has a makeup-like product. So Bioma is a skincare brand, in case you're unfamiliar. I like some of their skincare quite a bit, I have found, and they're pretty affordable, and they have very fun packaging. But they're doing a lip tide, so it's like a peptide lip serum kind of thing. I think it comes in different versions. Yeah, one of them has a tint, one of them has a gloss, and one of them is really to like restore your lips. I think it's great. If I go into a Sephora the next time I get to be in one, I will see if they have this and see if I can pick it up, because I do like some Bioma things. I have one of their cleansers that I'm really enjoying, and I had a set of minis that I have been traveling with for my past 2 trips, and they have been working really well. Not sure I need a full size of some of those products, but there's definitely some other products in the line that I would very much like to try. So next trip where I can go to Sephora is in June. So sometime June, I might be able to pick this up. Tower 28 has a limited edition shade of their Lip Softy lip treatment in Confetti Cake, which is like a lavender pink, which is why I wanted to feature it here, because Tower 28 is a brand that has discovered cool tones. They definitely have. They now have some cooler tone blushes out. They're doing more and more cool toned lip colors. I'm feeling the cool tones with Tower 28, so I wanted to mention them here. And then the collection that confuses me to no end. It's the one by Kiko Milano and Bridgerton. Did we need this? I don't think so. And none of the products that are here really appeal to me. We get some eyeshadow palettes, we get some like blush duo highlights, some lipsticks. I think there are some like liquid highlighter kind of things, eyeshadows. Yeah, there's a whole host of things. Of course, Kiko always does this. And I'm pretty sure this can be very, very popular because of Bridgerton and the name that's being attached to that. It's, of course, being released for their for the new season for Bridgerton that is coming, I think, in a couple of weeks. And yeah, I mean, well done, Kiko. If you like any of these shades, you might really enjoy it. But of course, we've already had several Bridgerton collabs with other brands. And to be quite fair, if I look at these products and I think back of what Pat McGrath had in hers, I can definitely see some parallels. Pat McGrath is also made in Italy, in case you were wondering. So, yeah, I definitely think that they're doing something here. I'm not entirely sure whether they're trying to dupe anything, but it's definitely inspired by. Now, this next palette, I don't really have a picture of what the palette looks like. I just have this like broken up thing. But I was able to see this in real life, and I'm featuring this because a lot of you were saying, Micah, you're gonna love this. This is the Byredo Scenic Reveries. That's what it's called, Mineralscapes palette. So this is a mineral-based eyeshadow palette, and when I looked at any of the pictures I could find online, I was like, why are you guys recommending this to me? Because everybody's saying, oh, it's such a great cool tone palette. And I looked at those pictures, I was like, no, it's not. Now that I've seen it in real life, I can tell there's like really only 2 real warm tones in this, and everything else is cooler toned because of that mineral base. It has some really stunning shades in. The only reason why I didn't pick this up is because it's 113 euros, which I found a bit steep for a mineral eyeshadow palette. Because from what I remember, mineral powders in shadow are some of the cheapest ingredients. Like, I feel like they're trying to market it as something like super special. Like, oh, here you have all these minerals and it makes it super sparkly and fun. And like, mineral makeup is like some of the oldest makeup out there. Like, and not as in this palette, but like traditionally speaking. So I don't think it's as revolutionary as the brand makes it seem, even though it is a very pretty palette. I don't think I will be picking it up anytime soon, mainly because I don't have really, really good experiences with mineral makeup. It's just, I've got pretty dry skin, and mineral makeup on me has always looked a bit weird. In terms of eyeshadow, any mineral-based eyeshadows that I've used have always been very powdery and patchy, and they dry out over time. So I'm not sure whether I'm willing to spend 113 euros on an eyeshadow palette that I kind of like the look of. Like, I think it's really pretty. I think it's a really good cool toned option, but I don't feel like I need to run out and get this. Because it's a bit standard. It's not exciting me. It's not making me feel like, ooh, I need to try this eyeshadow palette from Byredo. It has some really stunning blues in. Really, really stunning blues. And a taupe that's out of this world amazing. But the rest of the palette, I was like, no, maybe not. Something I am kind of excited for. There are two palettes on the picture. The one I'm talking about is the one to the left, so the lighter one of the two. This is by Lethal Cosmetics, and the new one is called Mellow Grove. The other one, the darker one, has been around since the winter time, and that's Midnight Serenade. But Mellow Grove, I mean, it's the grungy version of the retro glam. So you knew I was gonna like this. It's got those like dusty purples with some sagey greens. It seems to have some cooler tone neutrals with some rosy peachy things. And I'm like, I haven't enjoyed, like, none of the Lethal Cosmetics ready-made palettes have ever interested me for, like, picking them up myself. And then they do this, and I'm like, oh, but it's so pretty. Do I need this, though? No! I have the retro glam. I have my Lime Crime Venus, too. I don't need this. Yet there's a part of my brain that wants this. I'm not going to pick it up. It's not even going on the wish list. This is one of those items, the reason why I make these videos as well, is that I like talking about these things, and then a couple of months down the line, if I still remember this release in the sea of releases, then I know it's a standout and I need to go out and get it. But if this falls out of my brain, you could say, if I forget about this, and if 6 months down the line, I have no recollection that this was ever even made, I know it wasn't worth it. So I'm definitely going to wait and see what happens. But the Mellow Grove from Lethal, I think is really, really stunning. I think I would very much enjoy it. I know I love the Lethal formula, so this palette has so much going for it. Can you tell I'm talking myself out of buying this one? But yeah, I like this. I very much like the look of this. Stunning release from the brand. I think very complimentary to some of the other things, especially the way they have been promoting it, comparing it to the Midnight Serenade, which I thought was going to be a bit too dark. But yeah, if you have both of them, they nicely complement each other as well. Stunning release from the brand. I'm going to see how I feel about this one in a couple of months' time. YSL Beauty. YSL is having a moment with their lipsticks. I'm not sure what's going on, but when I was in London, they had this separate stand with just lipsticks, just YSL lipsticks, and all styled like this with the pretty tube with the branding around it. So these are the new Candy Glow Tinted Butter Bombs. I don't need this from a brand like this. I had some of these YSL lipsticks in the past, and I've never been super impressed with them. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this seems to be very much hyped up at the minute. They're throwing a huge campaign for this. It's everywhere. If you scroll on TikTok, you see everybody using these YSL lipsticks, and everybody is like, ooh, YSL, YSL, YSL. So this is having a moment, in case you were wondering. And yeah, I think it's pretty, but I don't need it in my life. I have plenty of lip products for some time to come again. There's going to be a new blush stick out from Kylie Cosmetics. If you haven't been here before, I'm not a huge fan of any of the Kardashians. I've never watched the show. I've never really understood the hype for anything Kylie related, you could say. So this one is also not super impressive to me. Does it look pretty? Yes. Is it a good thing for the brand? Also yes, but not one I need. And then the thing that you guys, I think you realize that this is something I'm interested in. This is the Adept and Amy Loves Makeup collab. It was already launched a couple of days ago. It's a super cool tone palette. This is coming to Monolith. I know it does. They have already teased it. It didn't say what release, but when this is coming, I will definitely be picking it up. It seems to have a couple of multi-chromes in, but also some really stunning cool tones. The only question I have is, will this work for me? Because there aren't a lot of mattes. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mattes. And almost all of those mattes are dark. So do I have a crease shade? That's my question. If this has a crease shade, for me, it can work and it can be a really beautiful palette, I think. So I really like the look of this. I definitely want to try it. It's $69 if you buy it through Adept themselves. I'm going to wait for this to drop on Monolith. I don't think it will be in the next drop on Monolith because they probably won't have this in yet. So when it drops, it will probably be June. And if they then still have the Bella Beauté bar, I could make it a little combo. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, this is definitely something I'm going to be waiting for until it drops on Monolith. And then I am going to snatch this one up because I have to try this one. Here we go. I knew this was in here somewhere. This is the Natasha Denona High Glam Powder Foundation. And I'm like, oh, Natasha Denona. I know powder foundation is again everywhere, but if you have dry skin, powder foundation just isn't really going to ever look good, I think. So if this had been a liquid foundation, I would have been, but now that it's a powder foundation, I'm like, no can do. So we're going to be skipping this one. However, if you have oily skin or if you like a super matte, super glam look, this is nice. I've seen some images of how this goes on and it looks really pretty, but it's not for me. Next up is another release that you guys were probably wondering how I feel about this one, and it's the new Sigma Cool Neutrals eyeshadow palette. And I want to discuss this, and I'm going to preface this post by saying, once I can get my hands on this again, Sigma is, I think, best bought through Beauty Bay for me, I think. I haven't bought a Sigma product in a while, and from their official website, I know it can be pretty expensive. Maybe Monolith has them too, I don't know, but when this drops, I'm gonna pick it up as well. This is going to go onto a wish list for sure. But of course, what a lot of people have been saying is why did you call it Cool Neutrals? And I think that I've seen this in comments on some of my videos as well whenever I talk about cool tones, is that for some people, I feel that the idea of what a cool tone is and what it can be and what it can do for different people is very limited. And I'm talking especially when I feel people come onto the channel who maybe have super fair skin with a super pink undertone, and then they'll say oh, but everything turns peach on me. And then I'm like, it may turn peach on you, but there are also people with medium skin or deep skin who also have cooler undertones, who then need something else in order to make it work. And that's how I feel as well about cool tones on myself. It's why I always say I have a cool to neutral undertone in my intro, because I can get away with cool tones, and I prefer a cool tone in my foundation and in my eyeshadow for sure, but I can get away with some warmth because I have, my hair is up today because I haven't washed it yet. But I can get away with warm tones because of a warmer blonde hair color. I've got dark eyes. So there are certain elements to my features that allow me to wear other things as well. And I think that this is the kind of cool tone palette that is going to work really well on people with medium to deep skin who have a neutral to cool undertone. That's who this is for. This isn't made for super pale people. And it's not made for people with a very pink leaning undertone. But even within the cool tone spectrum, it's a spectrum. It's not just one thing. And that's something that I always find very frustrating, because I love it if my eyeshadow palette isn't just a flat gray, because a lot of grays can look quite flat on me. And one of the big reasons why so many people out there don't love cool tones is because they look ashy. This cool tone palette is not going to look ashy on people. So I definitely think that if you look at this and you're like, oh, why do they call it cool toned? It's not cool toned enough. It should be more like this and that and that and that. I think that if you're thinking like that, you're missing like 75% of the population. Most people, A, have warm tones, and B, cool tones aren't just for pale people. They are also for people with deeper skin tones. And on deep skin, grays are just not really going to look the best. So I feel we're getting a range of cool tones here with some warmer things. And this is the reason why I want to try it. I want to see with my cool to neutral undertone how cool toned this actually is. And I definitely think that we shouldn't forget that just because something is named cool neutrals means that the contents of the product are going to be fully cool toned. There's definitely some warmth in like the left side of the palette, but a part of me is thinking that there's actually a good chunk here that is going to be more cool toned leaning, especially if you put certain shades together and you mix and match them. I think they can still work, at least that's my hope. And that's why I want to test it out to see how I feel about it on my skin tone, because I do feel like the one thing that holds me back is that I feel it looks quite dark and saturated. That's how I feel about it. So is it a cool tone palette for me and people lighter than me? I don't think so. Is this a cool tone palette for people with medium to deep skin? Hell yeah, it definitely is. And I definitely think that we need to realize that cool tones aren't just pinks and grays, people. Cool tones can also be dark browns and like other things as well. So please be mindful when you start critiquing these things, thinking like, oh, it's not cool tone enough. It's not going to be cool tone enough for some people, but it's going to be perfect for many others. We have an Etude Bloomingdale Pink Shy collection. I thought it was fun to throw in some K-Beauty here as well. This looks pretty, very soft, of course, because that's what K-Beauty brands tend to do. I still have some other K-Beauty palettes on my wish list, and some of them kind of look a little bit like this. So this like pinky sort of vibe is definitely making the rounds in the K-Beauty realm, and I think it looks stunning, and I definitely want to try it. Not this one in particular, but something like it. Then from Flower Nose, we have a new collection, the Violet Strawberry Rococo, or Rococo, not sure how you pronounce that. And this palette looks stunning. It's got some like pinky things, but some bluey lavender things as well. Really stunning. Flower Nose is a brand I still want to try sometime this year. I have a couple of their products on my wish list to budget for it later on in the year. So this may go on to the wish list. And like if I can throw it into the order, I might as well. We have two new ambient lighting palettes from Hourglass. They keep coming out with these things, and I never really understood the hype because there's always going to be shades in these that you're not going to use. And both of these look like most of the shades I wouldn't even want to use. So these aren't really for me. I think that they're really nice. Like, they're nice products. It's a great way to try a lot of Hourglass in one go. But these started coming out when I already had a bunch of the singles. So I don't need this in my life. I have all the Hourglass stuff I need. Odin's Eye is extending their single shadow collection. I saw a lot of creators already doing all of the swatches with this. So you can definitely find this online. This is already out as well. The Jewel Shine collection is what it's called. It's 42 new eyeshadows, multi-chromes, shimmers, and some mattes. Yeah, I haven't tried any of the singles from Odin's Eye, I have to be very honest. But the brand hasn't really done any sort of singles that really feel like it would make a difference to my singles collection. So whenever I'm looking into singles, I wanted to add something to my existing singles collection, and these just aren't quite it for me, which is why I will be skipping these. But yeah, if you're looking into singles, then these can be nice. What I dislike though is that they're like these rectangular pans, and I'm like, just make them round so that people can actually stick them into their own palettes and combine it a little bit easier with other brands. It's my biggest pet peeve with all of these like different sized single shadows, is that you can only then like fit so many into your palette because they're all the wrong size. And a lot of people have been asking me, oh, how do I feel about this release? This is the Let's Get Nude eyeshadow palette from Gloss Gods. And if you saw my video that went live yesterday, you know that I'm currently quite into wearing a warm tone. And yes, this is warm and spicy, but especially those like 3 rosy tone shimmers it has, I'm loving it. It seems to not have too many mattes. It seems to be quite a shimmer heavy palette, which is what I like about it. I'm not going to pick this up right now. This is another one that I'm sort of like putting on the back burner. It's probably going to go into a wish list. And then when it comes back in stock, because this will probably sell out really, really soon. It was already released, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I think it released yesterday morning or Friday morning, something like that. But yeah, this is stunning. And I know I love this formula. And I was like, if I allow myself to buy one warm tone palette, now that I'm really loving warm tones, I may just have to make it this one. Because there's just something about this that really calls my name. Like, it's got some really stunning things in that I think I can make work. Like, warm, yes, but also very beautiful. And if I want to go warm toned, I think it would be something like this, more so than anything else. So this Gloss Gods release, again, for them as a brand, a really good choice because they don't have anything like this currently in their line. And secondly, in terms of like my personal makeup collection, the fact that I'm all of a sudden really into warm tones and colorful things, I might as well add something new. And then if I'm going to add something new, it would be this one. Then we have the Danessa Myricks and My Kit Co. Brush collection. So Danessa Myricks is releasing brushes, but in collaboration with a brush brand. These look pretty, but I don't have a price point. They look very pretty though. And I said when I did a video like talking about what brands I would like to try this year, there were some brush brands on my to try list. But to be quite fair, I really haven't felt the need to be buying new brushes. Like, we're almost at the halfway point of the year, and like the brushes I have, I still love. The ones that I bought like a year and a half ago, I've really been able to give them a whirl, and I'm rotating through them, and I'm really still enjoying all of the brushes I have. So I'm currently not really feeling like I need more makeup brushes, even though I did put some of those on my to try pile. Yeah, if I were in the market for brushes, these could be a nice one as well. I've never tried My Kit Co, so I don't know. And also Danessa Myricks would be a new to me brand. The final 3 releases to chat about, another ColourPop one. ColourPop is celebrating their 10th anniversary, and this is their Precious Metals Mega Palette. This is one of the big ones. It seems to have cooler tones on one end, warmer tones on the other, and it is precious metals inspired. So all of your like metallic shades are in here. There are fewer mattes, it seems, than there are shimmers. So really pretty, but I don't love these really big ColourPop palettes. I tried the Stone Cold Fox in the past, decolored it, and pulled the 9 shades out that I did enjoy. So I know which way this is gonna go if I were to purchase it. And then they seem to have some other products that go with the collection. I think there are some Super Shocks and some jelly, like it's a whole range again. So yeah, I think to celebrate their 10th anniversary, it's pretty, it's cool. I think it really does add something to the ColourPop line, but not for me. Then we have Refi. Refi is coming out with some new concealers. I have only tried one product from Refi, which is the brow gel I'm wearing today, which is pretty much running out as we speak. And I didn't pick up anything from them that was new because I still have plenty of brow products. And I think they started off as a brow brand mainly, and now they're branching out. So I think that that's a really clever way to set up a new makeup brand these days. Do one thing really well, be known for it, and then have your fans buy the other products to see if they like them as well. I think that can work. It's a clever release from the brand, not something I need. I have just picked up the final concealer that I will be buying in a while, so that I can finally, hopefully sometime before the end of the year, do a nice little roundup of all of the different concealers I've tried in recent years, because I realized like somewhere in 2023 that I hadn't really tried a lot of concealers lately, and then of course I went ham. And I tried a bunch of new concealers, and now I'm pretty much like, I've saturated that sort of concealer trial for myself. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about is the Inky List tripeptide plumping lip tints. What's in a name? Comes in 3 shades, pink, berry, and mocha. And all 3 shades look nearly identical on the lips of the models they've used. So these are definitely just a lip tint. It's more like a tinted lip balm kind of thing, but it has skincare properties in it. The Inky List is a skincare brand. We've seen more and more like skincare companies do these kind of things, like the Bioma thing I talked about before. And I would go for the Bioma over this, because this comes in a little tube, and the Bioma at least has an applicator, so it would be a little less messy. And to be quite fair, I've tried some of the Inky List skincare, and there's just always something about it that I don't absolutely love. I haven't felt the need to repurchase any of the products that I used up, if I was even inclined to use them up, because there are definitely some Inky List products that I had bought, that I started using, and that I just did not enjoy, and I ended up decluttering them before I could use up the whole thing. So yeah, Bioma I've had more luck with than the Inky List, so that's why I would skew one way than the other. Yeah, this is like, it's nice from the brand. I feel if you love the Inky List, you may really like these. So yes, thank you so very much for joining me here today. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thumbs it up if you like it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more by me. I do these videos every first Sunday of the new month, so I will be back with another episode in a couple of weeks' time, and then we'll chat about the new makeup releases that have been out then. Let me know in a comment down below what you are hoping to buy, what is going on your wish list. I would love to know. And then I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.